Going live or partially live, almost live, and get her going anyway, right? Yep. Actually, oh, yeah, the lighting is kind of bright. Let me also getting some feedback from my sound cords. Welcome to my show. Thank you for showing up. If you aren't there yet, you should be eventually. You know what I thought about just today, and I know it's a long, long way away, but it's probably a good time to start is making Christmas ornaments for Christmas because it rolls around eventually and then, you'll be less hustle and bustle when the time comes, right? I know it's not even Christmas in July, it's Christmas in June, right? Right. So, without further ado, well, it looks like we got a couple of people in the chat room, one person now again. But without further ado, I'm going to do a couple of more Christmas ornaments. And I'm also checking out something new. I've actually brought the modem, cable modem, out to my shed, the internet modem, and we're going to see how sharp my image is and how well it does. And I do have the live video feed going on, so when you type into the chat room, I will immediately be able to see it. So let's see if we can't bring it over to now. I know you're going to hear the little wisp of the blowing of the wind in my microphone, but it's going to be turned away from me most of the time. So let's live with it and go from there, right? Oh, there we are. Okay, I'm going to set down the microphone at the moment and let's see what we can do in the way of damages on the torch itself. Um, and again, if you have something to say, just type it into the chat room and I will be able to see it. And with that, the first thing I'm going to do is an angel Christmas ornament. Right, right, right. They will always go. I won't have any problems having those ready for somebody else eventually. Well, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to turn on the 10 liter per minute oxygen concentrator. And with that, there goes the flame. Let's see if that doesn't do the trick. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whenever you're watching this. Again, what I'm going to be setting up and doing at the moment is some Christmas ornaments. And you're saying, wait a minute, that's a long way away. But what better place and what better time to start doing Christmas ornaments than in June? Because then by the time Christmas does roll around, guess what? You'll have a few ready to go. Right, right. So, and I'm going to do one of my angel ornaments first. I know I've done them before, but it never hurts repeating and showing off. Hey, Demented Glass, how are you today? It's nice to see that people can type into the chat room. Okay, let's see something. Sorry about the wind. I'm actually going to go ahead and turn on the extra concentrator, get some hotter glass going on. It's vibrating a little bit, but it's doing the job. Now, the angels are basically, I'll do a nice big round disc and then flatten it out a little bit. I'm going to do it a little bit differently than I did last year. Not much, just to switch up a little bit. Yes, I'm doing pretty good. I've had some moments, some really low moments lately, but today fighting back. And also, again, as you can see, the high detail, I brought the actual cable modem out to my shed, and you can see the higher definition on what is being shown on the screen, which is pretty cool. It doesn't have to go through the Wi-Fi first. It's right there. So that's the cool one about today. I'm just playing with the idea. I'll unplug it, bring it out here, and plug it back in, and so on and so forth. It's a little pain in the butt, but sometimes going the extra effort is worth it. Also, if you have a request of something that you'd like to see done, and I know that on the last one, somebody gave me a request, and you think for right now I could figure out what it was, I forgot about it. But I will work on that. Okay. First, I flatten it out a little bit. That's the body of the angel. Now I'll add some what I call ripples to the um, to the tunic that the angel wears. I think I'll do some on both sides this time. And all I'm doing for ripples is I'm basically going to line it, straight lines, and that's sort of like ripples in the cloak or the tunic or whatever they're wearing, right? Right. And there we go. Oops. We got 5 people watching. That's a pretty good crowd for the beginning. And since I didn't even announce it on Facebook or anything, that's pretty cool. I'm glad you guys are on the list of it announcing to you that I'm actually going live. 8 o'clock is usually when I do it, and I'll probably do it at least one more time this week, if not two, just because I can. Also reaching pretty new heights in my viewing. Turns out I've got now 40,000 views from all the videos that I have done, which is exciting to me because it's always slowly but surely incrementing up. I'm excited about that. Taking a while, but yeah, I know. It's one of those things it's like, darn, I wish it was one of those viral things that 5 minutes from now, 20 million people will watch it. But hey, not everybody wants to see somebody melt some glass. Yeah, thanks, Daddy. Nice to know that. I'm glad you had the time to come by and at least see what was going on. And again, right now I'm just making an angel Christmas ornament. And usually what I do for hi Molly, glad to see that. Like I say, people are showing up and chatting with me. And I can see the live video feed, like I said. And it looks like the best video feed I've done on YouTube at this point, with just not being, uh, recorded on like an iPhone onto my phone and then uploaded. It is straight from the phone. I mean, straight from the webcam that's hovering above my torch table at the moment, giving you a nice view, I think. Yeah, you guys can even see the carousel horse spinning around like a son of a gun with in the wind. Oh, 16,000 things for it to get knocked on, right? Whee! Okay, what else is it on? Another little something. There we go. Uh, that is the carousel horse carousel that I did. Uh, I think about a week ago, but I did alter it slightly since the video. I made each one of the posts coming outward a little bit longer. That's the only thing that I really altered on that. But I put it all back together and it's been like a son of a gun. I'm almost through with this angel. So if somebody's got a request that they'd like to see me do into a Christmas ornament form and or something else, give me a chance. I know, oh, I forgot, and I'm sorry I forgot. I should have written it down. Tilt it up. There we go. It's all manipulating the glass when it's in the heat and getting it just the right temperature to manipulate it to where you want, so it'll do what you want it to do. And the idea also that you guys got to realize is you can't fight the glass. The glass will always win. It it works in a set of parameters. Hi Amber, nice to see that you made it first thing instead of right when I was closing this time. Amber's my daughter. To all of those that didn't know, that's why she has the same last name. She's over in Michigan, and I'm down here in North Carolina. So it's one of the ways she gets a chance to see her daddy. There we go, and it is a little flat. It's not a big rounded angel ornament. I found that last year making them flatter was a way of making them easier to put away and bring back, I guess. Now I'm going to do the loop on the top of the head, bail, whatever you want to call it. I know. It's one of those things that when I started, I didn't know the terminology and technology, so I had to come up with names like loop. And here we go, loop de loo. Here we go, loop de lie. I know, don't quit my day job, right? Uh, okay, Angel's almost done. Any requests that you'd like to see done? Now's the time. Ah, I'm going to have to watch the very last of that last video and remind myself of what he wanted me to do. And I know I could do it, but just couldn't do it at the time. Darn. Okay, now the bottom of this, I'll stretch it slightly, warming it in, doing the job. Did you have fun at the pool today? Bad internet today for you? Sorry about that, girl. To me, it's doing really good. I actually see the feed going really higher depth than normal. I've actually got the internet connected right out here in my shed, the internet modem and stuff. So I gotta unplug it from here and take it back inside to do, you know, regular stuff. Ah, there we go. Press it down. Question: should I fume it? Why not? I have the stuff to fume it with right here. A little bit of TLC. Oops, the wrong direction. Wrong direction. Let's fume it here. silver on the end of the tip of this thing, and you get the flame just right, a very almost a elongated flame sometimes, and you got to get the silver just right because it's got to cooperate too. One thing, if you're doing it onto a punty of boro, it likes to sort of recess into the glass. So every so once in a while, you have to heat up the piece of the punty that you're pulling it from and squeeze it a little bit, and you get pretty nice results. Okay, so next, tap it off, fire polish, and we're doing good that way. Done. Next, oh, a crab or a scorpion, I think was one of the things he wanted to see done. Let's give it a try. Let's do a crab. And he might have wanted a crab pipe, but I'm going to do a crab at this point. Do a face hugger with Santa's hat. Okay, Demented, I will, but not today. I am actually going to put that down and write it down. And plus, you guys, I'm saying it out loud, and it's going to happen. I have been putting off doing one for, of all people, my little daughter Amber. She has wanted a face hugger for a long little while, and I said, yes, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, and I never have. So that would be a cool one. Uh, the face hugger with the Santa hat. Give me another couple of days to sort of research the face hugger again. I know pictures are easy on the internet. So, but right now, I'm going to work on a crab. Okay. But Daddy Fat Sacks, thanks for the challenge. And again, I'm not doing it today, but I am going to do it. I promise. And as my daughter knows, when I make a promise, oh, demented. Sorry. A face hugger. It's the little thing that pops out of the egg in Alien. Sorry, Daddy. I thought that's who said it. Never mind. Yeah, it gets stuck to the face, and then they try to pull it off, and it gets strangled around your neck. They call him a face hugger. What can you say, right? Now the crab, I'm going to make sort of elongated teardrop shape. But yes, I do need to do a face hugger, and my daughter's probably going to get it when it's done. And oh, by the way, I'm getting up to another 25 people, and I will have hit the 600 subscription mark, which is another milestone for me. I'm really excited about you guys keeping up and sharing and telling other people about me and getting out there and making a difference in my life. Right now, the only really exciting thing I have to do every once in a while is to get out here and try to explain to you guys a little bit about some glass. Crabs are an interesting creature. The worst part is I do not like seafood, so I'd have probably paid more attention to it if I wanted to eat it. My wife loves it that I don't like to eat her lobster, but boy, can she eat a few lobster. Okay, basic crab shape. Now we got to put 8 legs on it. First, I'm going to do the eyes, and then I'm going to fume it silver afterwards. Okay, what I'm going to do is get a smaller rod to start with to make sure that all of the 8 legs will be sealed to the body well. 2 in front and 2 behind. And I'll even probably have the claws on there too. And these are basically just where the joints of the legs are going to come into play. But to make sure that I had room for all 4 legs on each side, I'm just using a smaller rod, or you could use a stringer doing the same idea, but that gives you pretty good indication and seal those legs into the body more strongly that way, making sure it is all well and sealed. Okay, 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 okay. And there we are. I'll call him Stumpy right now, eh? Okay. Any questions? Do the 2 in the middle first and work my way out. Uh, Crabs are like arachnids. They have the 8 legs. I guess you could make them more like an insect and make them 6-legged if you wanted to. There we go. 2 down, 6 to go. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to make the last stumps of legs into the claws. And do that by making it really big. Bring it out there. I should be through with this in about 2 to 3 minutes. If somebody has a request that they'd like to see me do after this, shout it out. Sorry, I hope that's showing up. No, it isn't showing up. Let me tilt this back just slightly then. I'm doing a little bit of manipulation of the glass right here in front of my face. And you guys weren't seeing all of that. I'm sorry about that. Okay, we're going to make this one a little bit bigger. It's going to be his right hand, so he's going to be right-handed. We got the small leg, and now, the small claw, and now we're going to do the big claw. There we go. Yeah, crabs have a lot of detail on them. You really got to work on it to make it work well. A fish, there's many types of fish. I can do a dolphin. I can do a starfish. I can do um, a jellyfish. No, well, that one would be encasing or implosion, if you want to call it. One more leg to go, and this crab is a done deal. And I'll fume him with silver and put a loop on him. So let's hang him upwards because he can. No, because I can. It's going to be tonight. I thought they did something last night, or did they have problems? I don't know. I didn't. I was on there for a little bit, and it was a little after 11, and they were still going to have a live show, but I didn't stick around for it. Had other things to do. So you probably know more about it than I do. Oh, a jellyfish. Okay. Let's see if I've got some of that jellyfish stuff ready to go. If not, then I have to make it. Right? Right. And it'd probably be worth it in the long run. Touch that. Where do I want the leg? I mean the loop. It's going to be right in his mouth. Coming right out of his mouth. That's where I'm making sure it's a good mount. Melting it in. Hi, Amber. You see what somebody challenged me to do for a Christmas ornament? Look at the talk above you. Loops, the bail's a little big. It was on Twitch. But yeah. Okay. I'll have to see what it's all about tonight. Wood and height. Okay. That guy's ready. Now I'm going to fume him up a little bit with some silver. And we got this guy under control. Yeah, but to bring you a little up to speed, Amber, if you're not going to read it, a little above where it says fish and all that sort of stuff, somebody has challenged me to do a face hugger with a Santa Claus hat on them. And I know who's going to end up with that piece once it's done. Let's see, somebody else, right? Okay, bring it back to the single flame. There we go. Fume it out. Oh yeah, this piece of silver is really, really doing its job tonight. I say that and it stops, right? So I got to heat it up, squeeze it, get it up to the surface, and let it blow again. More about multibore. Cool. Oh yeah, this fuming tonight on this piece of silver is like holy. That's like a gold crab now. Doing really, really well. Okay, had to change the adjust the flame again. so that my 5 liter per minute concentrator wouldn't say, "Hey, the flow is so wrong." It's going to go beep. That'll be cool. I didn't really get a chance to watch some of it, so watching it tonight is, I guess, multi-bore is basically the type of tubing that you use to begin with, right? Right. Sweet. Now, fish, jellyfish. Yeah, you guys would. Let's see what we got available to make this work quickly. And of course, nothing. So, I got to go from scratch. Ain't that a kick in the pants? Won't be bad. Just take a little while, right? Right. First, take a rod. I'm using about 9 mil, and I'm going to add about 4 or 5 strands around that rod. Like so. Well, let's see. Let's use this one. Okay. You line it like so. I'm not going to make it very big, and I'm probably going to be able to get several, and I'm saying several jellyfish out of this one strand that I'm doing. Very small, but when you start to encase it with other glass over it, it becomes bigger. And then you stretch it, and it becomes bigger. You add more, and it becomes bigger. But if you wanted to, you could do this whole rod all the way down, doing the same idea that I'm doing right now, layering it on top of clear rod. Okay? And this is, I think, periwinkle blue. Okay? Now we'll layer in between the lines, and then we're going to layer it with a whole bunch of clear on top of it. Now, layering it like this will bring and flatten out the ribbons that I just did, each one of these things that I just lined up. This is part of the implosion, and this time they're going to become like I say, a ribbon. And what I'm going to also do is layer some more clear over that. The same idea. This is between the periwinkle blue, and I'm leaving a gap on each one of those lines of periwinkle blue. And it will become more ribbon-like when you do this. Okay? When you layer it like so. A little bit more. Then I'll round all that in and do it one more time. Now this is basically the tentacles on the bottom of the jellyfish. Okay? And what I'm doing now is just letting that glass all become sort of one level. And where I've left a gap between each one of these, it will stretch the tentacles or the ribbons that I left. Instead of round like this, they start to become where the glass is between and pulls out. It stretches it into more of a ribbon shape instead of a rounded shape. And I'll do this one more time. Okay. I'm actually going to stretch this a little bit. Not completely out yet, but stretch it a little bit. There we go. And you can see that it's already becoming longer and Still about the same thickness that it was a little while ago as the original rod that I started with. Okay, now I'm going to add a big layer of clear over everything now. Demented, are they going to do that at their regular time about 9:30? Or I mean 9:30 their time, which would be about 10:30, 11 o'clock out here on the East Coast. And as I layer or even as I encase, what I'm doing is I am basically lining, heating up the rod that I'm putting onto the encasement, but also as I'm heating it up and layering it on or lining it on like a pencil, I am sort of counterclockwise turning that rod. Maybe that's one of the things I'll do one time is I'll put a nice big tape mark. I have a piece of tape handy. Of course not, because I needed one. Don't worry about it. But to show you how it is turning around as I am layering it on. Here we go. We're getting there. There we go. Now that it's totally encased all the way around, and that will be enough. I'll stretch that into a thinner encasement or rod at this point. And again, that's enough to do about two, maybe three jellyfish out of there, maybe even more. Won't know until I have made as many as I can out of it. And again, as I did that, layered that glass between and let it stretch out, it has become more ribbon like instead of rounded like. Kind of hard to explain, people. It does the job. Okay, here we go. Stretching, easy, easy. Sort of rolling off, trying to attach. So it's not a big knuckle nub that it's all the same length in the long run. There it goes. And that will work it. That will work it. Now, go back up here to the top. And I'm going to nip off just the very, very top edge of this. Yeah, that's the way they are. It'll start eventually. Yeah, they are, if nothing, not punctual, but they have a lot of good information to give out. That's the greatest thing about them. It's one of those things that it is worth waiting for in the long run. Okay, halfway there, we've got the tentacles to this jellyfish. Okay, and now I'm going to nip off the very, 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 very top. There we go. Now I'm going to layer. Let's see, what color can I use For the top of this, I've got green. How about a turbo cobalt? Well, that's not turbo cobalt. Here we are. It'll be almost a transparent blue or cobalt blue when it's all said and done. Now what I'm doing now is just at the very, very top where I pulled off all of that rod or that encasement is I've added more glass. And what that does, this is at this point with a single stem, and this is the same way I do my mushrooms. But with this, what I'm doing now, with the many tentacles or many uh, tendrils below it, it becomes a jellyfish instead of a mushroom. So now we got the cobalt blue for the top of this guy, so it'll turn into a nice blue, 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 blue. I didn't need that much of a rod, so we're going to go ahead and layer this down. Now with the top of this, I'm just layering, and again, I'm more or less drawing it on to the onto my left hand. I'm not uh, trying to heat up a lot of what's in my right. I mean, my left hand. What I'm heating up is in my right hand, and I'm layering it or adding to the paper with the pencil is what I call it. Anything, if you're right-handed, I call that side the pencil hand and the other side the paper hand. But there will be times where all of a sudden you'll say, well, I got to change. And then the pencil becomes the paper and the paper becomes the pencil. But that's another story. Now I think that should be, I'm going to add more. I thought that would be enough, but I'm going to add more because I want to. It's melting down quite nicely, but I want to add more to make it more of a round sphere jellyfish. Okay, and we're getting there. Just a little bit more, and I think that should do her. Now we're going to add, before we add, I'm really going to add some sharp flame here, and I'm going to twist back and forth on the tendrils. Heat it up sharply, give it a twist one way. There we go. And now I'm going to heat it up sharply again, just below that, and twist it the other way. There we go. I don't know if you can see that in there or not. We'll see in a sec. Okay. But as it cools, you'll see that it's swirled one way and then swirled another. So like a little bit of a wigwag going on. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and nip that off. Where's the wire cutters when you need them? Oop, wrong direction. There we go. Yeah, getting there. Gonna crimp it off just a little bit more and then break it off. There we go. Now, I'm going to layer a lot of clear on top of what I've just done, on the bottom anyway. Oh, excuse me, sorry about that. Lunch, haven't even had it, and it's still there. Okay, layer more glass, but I'm going to leave right where the edge of the turbo cobalt is still open. I'm not going to put anything to that at all. And there's a reason for that. It's all in the physics of the glass. All in the physics of the glass. Almost done with this guy. Give if you have a request that you'd like to see made. I know I sort of went off and instead of doing a Christmas ornament jellyfish, I did a jellyfish, encased jellyfish. But hey, that's the fun of this. And I've got a few more months before I really have to really kick in and start doing Christmas ornaments, right? Right. Okay. Here we go. Let it melt in and keep rounding in. And now what's going to happen is there's a hill, a valley, and then a hill. And now what I'm going to do is heat this thing up, and it's all going to become one even level. But where that brim to that jellyfish is, it will begin to bloom outward to give you more of a jellyfish look. And that's what I meant by the physics of the glass. As it blows outward or melts outward, it stretches. Oh yeah, there we go. Round and round it goes. Oh yeah, it rounded upwards even. That's pretty cool. Surprise, surprise. Now I'm going to go ahead and layer that out, or layer over that the middle valley there. Here we go. And that's going to be one jellyfish marble, or pendant, or whatever I want to do with it. Here we go. Layered some more clear over the middle and also the bottom. And that's okay. That's the way I wanted it. And now it's just a matter of letting it round in and becoming a bigger marble, as it were, and or whatever. But yeah, that is turning out really, really nice. Keep heating and rounding, and it'll come out nice and round. It helps also to have a little bit of a marble mold going on. And if you've got some air lines in there, make sure that they become round bubbles and throw it right into the oven afterwards so it'll cool down slowly. But the round bubbles have less stress in them and work out or chill out a whole lot easier and better than elongated lines and bubbles. Getting there. Oh wow, we're gonna have to a little bit bigger than one of the marble molds that I thought I had. There we are. Now I'm gonna go ahead and heat up the bottom or the top of this jellyfish. Yeah, I love doing marbles. I tell people I figured I was gonna be getting older, and as you get older, you start to lose your marbles. But as a glass maker, you can make some to make up for it, right? Again, now's the time for a request. We're looking at just a little at an hour's time, but I've got no place to go tonight, so I could do one more. And then I probably will do something on the tobacco pipe channel also, but that's another story. I just brought a bubble to the surface and popped it. That's a pretty cool deal. The rest of them are a little bit big, but doable. Okay, now there we go. Touch it too. Pull that off. Are we there yet? It's just a matter of melting this all in and rounding it down, making it work for me. Gravity works, and when you're melting in and rounding in, you tilt it like this, and it draws downward and more rounded. And you tilt it like this, and it elongates and becomes more like a teardrop on the other end. So it's one of those things that you could do, stretch it back and forth, and it really becomes um, what you're looking for in a marble. Oh yeah, the top of this looks like a sombrero. It's pretty cool. Sometimes you don't really see what you got until you do it. Serendipity is a wonderful thing. It has definitely been a contributing factor to a lot of my glass work that has turned into fabulous pieces. Now, when you're spinning it in a mold, you'll see that it has tops and grooves, or high points and low points, hills and valleys. But as you heat it back up, it melts all of those grooves and hills and valleys off of it, and that becomes all one smooth level, which is a good thing. Okay, and you can repeat this several times to get it closer to what you're really looking for. Okay, now another thing I do about my marbles, most people just do the top and bottom. I also do it side to side. In other words, this way I spin it and melt it, and then I'm going to also put a cold weld right here next to the brim of the mushroom. Now I'm going to melt it this way a little bit. Let it round in. It'll elongate a little bit, but it'll also round in. It'll be a good thing. A Pillsbury Doughboy. Yeah. Um, Again, I will have to say not today, but I will do one. I promise. It's been a while, and my image of the Pillsbury Doughboy is well out of the open files in my brain to pull it out and do it. I'll practice it and get back to you on that. Okay, Demented? Two challenges today, and I will get to them. And I appreciate all the challenges. And matter of fact, I might even make one of these shows about the challenges that I've had so far that people have asked for. And that's part of the fun of doing my glass is the challenges that you guys bring to me. It's not what I can do, it's what we can do together. I've done it more than once on my glass work. I'd be stuck in a rut and only doing it a certain way, but somebody comes along and says, "Hey, can you do this with that?" And then it's like, "Oh, why didn't I think of that?" You know? And lately, there's been a couple of people that I've mentioned uh, what I call the aha moment, where you're working along and you've been trying it a certain way and it hasn't been coming out very hard or coming out very easily at all. And then all of a sudden, you just do one whisper, one thing a little bit different. And it's like, aha, whoa, why wasn't I thinking of that before, man? And that's the truth. Oh yeah, that is definitely a pretty cool. I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me check the letting it cool a little bit. But the top and bottom is really, really nice in that. It's a little bit on the glowing side. Getting better. And also, I don't know if you can see it or not, just above, you can see the rectangular line going on. And with that, you'll see where the highs and low bumps are anyway, because that's the ripple in the light. See the ripple going on? Yeah. And then you heat it up a little bit more, spin it a little bit more until it becomes nice and smooth, or that you'll be happy with it. That's the main things in life, okay? Here we go. Spinning it in again, melting it down. And it's just a continuous process until you're happy with how round your marble is. Okay? I'm working on getting the fume DNA twist. Hey, that sounds like fun. Going to have to call it a night. Thanks. Thanks for showing up, Molly. I do appreciate it. And the challenge, you will see video on Facebook of this that I just did. The when it's all said and done and cooled down, it'll probably be tomorrow because this sucker's got to cool down really, really mean and slow. Yeah, most of the you can see that it's not as bumpy as it was a minute ago. The line or the crescent that you see for the I'm going to do it one more time this way. Oh, actually, I'm going to do it one more time this way, just because I can. Have a good night, Molly. Amber, are you still watching? You've been kind of quiet if you are. You usually say a few more words than what you have, but that's okay too. If she's not, she at least showed up and said hi. I'm going to have to try to call up and see what's going on using Google Hangouts. I like the video chat that they have there. Okay, we're spinning that. One more time, letting it all round in, melt down. Oh yeah, melt it down a little bit more, and then I'm going to call this one quits. Now, what I usually do with the marbles is I tap it off, keep that divot on the top, point it a little bit to the side here, and then I'll melt that in the flame right there like so, till it really, really rounds into itself. And there you go. One nice little round marble. And as it cools, that's going to be a nice, I should have added some Illuminati to the thing or something because it's kind of dark, but when you put a black light to it, it'd shine the green, but that's okay. It's still a nice little marble. Any requests that they'd like to see done before I call it uh, the evening? And if not, we have done a few little pieces, and I am excited that you were here to watch me create. And as you go on, I hope that you learn something from these and that you can see one little technique that will bring your glass to a new level. Like I say in my description, I'm not the best glass blower in the world, but I have a lot of information to offer, and I'm hopefully that will come to play. I know what I was supposed to do, a tiki head bead. Not today, but I might even come back on later and do a tiki head. So with that, I do appreciate it. As always, carpe vitro, and enjoy. Oh yeah, now that I got that, enjoy your day.